warm welcome to you in just over 2 minutes and just under 2 minutes and a half. We're going to be talking with Simon Mutembo. Quite a remarkable innovation story about mass vaccination campaigns and reaching the zero-dose child. So stay with us. In just over 2 minutes, we'll be meeting Simon. He's already been a guest of the Zero Surveys event with the International Vaccine Access Center, so we're actually welcoming him back. We're looking at your messages, of course, and this is really quite a remarkable story. Stay tuned. You're going to be surprised by what he shares, what he did, how he did it, and how it turned out. And he's going to give us the inside story in just under a minute. Welcome to you from Geneva, Switzerland. This is Reda Sadki from the Geneva Learning Foundation, and I am here with Simon Mutembo, who has an amazing story to share today, and he'll be walking us through the work he did around mass vaccination campaigns and how to reach the zero-dose child. A warm welcome to you, Simon. How are you doing? Tell us where you're connecting from, and please, who are you? What do you do? It is not the first time we welcome you on the Geneva Learning Foundation's live stream.
Thank you very much, Reda, for hosting me and allowing me to share my experiences with the mass vaccination campaign and how to reach the zero-dose children. I'm Simon Mutembo. I'm from Zambia. I'm a physician by profession and an epidemiologist, currently working as an assistant scientist with Johns Hopkins University in the USA.
Thank you, Simon. So not everybody has won a global grand challenge. Can you explain for those who are not familiar, who have only heard of these grand challenges, what is it exactly, and what do you have to do to win it? What are the criteria? What is the process? Can you tell us briefly what it's about?
Yeah, so the Global Grand Challenges is a grant which is managed by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. It's a grant which targets new innovations. For this particular one, it was focused on a campaign effectiveness. So we developed an innovation which we thought was going to reach the zero-dose children, that is those children who missed their routine vaccinations. And this is a very big problem at the moment with the expanded program on immunization in many parts of the world.
All right. So what was the problem that you set out to solve exactly?
So in this innovation, what we set out to solve was to develop a system of finding the zero-dose children or the children who missed their routine doses. For those who are working in the expanded program on immunization, we know that most countries conduct what are known as mass vaccination campaigns. The mass vaccination campaigns are aimed at capturing children who've missed their vaccination doses during their routine health services. one of the big challenges with the mass vaccination campaigns is they are carried out nationwide. They tend to be massive. They are carried out over a very short period of time. And experience has shown that most of the mass vaccination campaigns end up vaccinating the same children that were vaccinated during the routine services and miss the children who are supposed to be receiving the vaccines. So in our innovations, we are trying to develop something that will be able to reach these children who are missed by the routine services so that we make mass vaccination campaigns a little bit more efficient.
All right, thanks, Simon. I just want to pause to acknowledge Mary Kali, who says, thanks, great job. Rosine Bala, a francophone from Cameroon, Jojo and Zengu, connecting via Facebook. Mary was coming in via YouTube. Nana Rakoto Malala, who says bonjour, and I'm guessing she's connecting from Madagascar. Please tell us what city and country you're connecting from. Jamila Husseini from Nigeria, and Imam Wadabelo, who says hello, guys. All right, let's dig in. So Simon, we're speaking with Simon Mutembo, who won a global grand challenge around reaching the zero-dose child. He's told us what was the problem he wanted to solve. Can you tell us, Simon, now, what strategies did you consider, in sort of thinking through how to solve this this problem of actually including children who have never received a vaccine in the to build a more reliable measure of vaccination coverage?
Yeah. So in our design, the first thing that we thought about was to design something which is feasible and acceptable within the Ministry of Health, and also to use technology which is currently existing and then adapt it to the expanded program on immunization. So what we did was we adapted an app called Review App, which has previously been used for the indoor residual spray program, which is conducted on a mass campaign type of approach. In our approach, what we did was, first of all, we developed aerial satellite maps showing structures within the catchment areas of clinics. Then we used the aerial satellite maps to assign community health workers to those structures. Then they would go to the structures, ask a few questions about the immunization status of the children. Basically, they would want to know whether there are children in that household. If there are children in the household, then they would ask whether the children are vaccinated or not. Then that data which they are collecting will be visualized in the Review App, which is based at Health Center. With those maps that they develop and the data that they collect, then the Health Center staff would use that information to plan for the mass vaccination campaign and target certain activities in areas with a high number of zero-dose children, while continuing the same type of approach in the areas where there are fewer numbers of zero-dose children. We implemented this approach in the mass vaccination campaign in Zambia, which was conducted in November 2020. We were able to do this project in one rural district.
All right, so you were going to test this new approach using a non-randomized controlled before and after study in the context of planned measles and rubella mass vaccination campaigns in 14 different areas in Zambia. So can you tell us, were you able to do that, and what happened? How did it turn out?
Yeah. So we made a little bit of the changes to the original plan, as you may be aware, with the COVID-19 pandemic. It has been very challenging to conduct some of the field related activities. So we made a few of the changes. We implemented the project according to certain aspects of the project. Among the changes that we made, because the mass vaccination campaign was planned within a very short period of time, so we could not focus on a bigger, area and focus just on one district. Then the other decisions that we made to change was to use that information not only during the campaign, but even post-campaign, because when they collected the data, before the campaign, they were able to identify households with zero-dose children, right? Then that information was used for planning for the mass vaccination campaign. Then after the mass vaccination campaign, again, we reassigned community health workers to the same households which were initially identified to be zero-dose children, to have zero-dose children, and then verify whether during the campaign, those children were actually vaccinated. So it's still a before and after non-randomized control trial, but we added some more things to make it a little bit more efficient. And at the moment, we are still doing the analysis of the data to find out whether the mass vaccination campaign was efficient in capturing children who are not vaccinated. Then after, we are going to continue measuring at different points, whether after we introduced this tool, the vaccination coverages for that area will improve over time. So we'll measure the effect of our intervention at 6 months. Then we're going to measure the effect of our intervention at 12 months again.
All right. Thank you, Simon. So we have the first question from a listener. I'm going to take myself out of the picture. So I unfortunately do not read this alphabet, so I cannot tell you the person's name. But here's the question. How often are the satellite maps updated? Is it like Google Maps? If it's not updated, then how would we know settlements that have developed in recent months, especially in the urban context?
Yeah, that is a very good question, and I wish to highlight that that's one of the challenges that we ran into when we went into the field. Not only that the aerial satellite maps do not update frequently, but some of the structures that we're able to identify as from the aerial satellite maps, when we would go there, we would find that it's probably it's not a structure built by human beings. It could be an anthill. But for most of the places, I think the rate of structures being built is not as fast as we might think. It takes time for those structures to be built. But there are many other platforms that you can use. Like at the moment in the country where we implemented this, we used the Grid 3 aerial satellite maps, which are updated almost in real time.
So how, two final questions for you. How could other immunization professionals use or get inspired by this work that you've been able to carry out around mass vaccination campaigns to reach the zero-dose children? And where can they go to learn more?
Yeah, a great question. Let me first begin by sharing some of the experiences that we had talking to program managers, talking to people at the district, talking to people in the health facilities and the community health workers. There's one thing which everyone recognizes: mass vaccination campaigns are important in capturing those who've missed their vaccination doses and to give a second chance to those who may have not developed the immunity. But one thing is becoming clear in most places is that there is fatigue in doing mass vaccination campaigns in a routine way that captures the same children over and over, and we should develop strategies where we focus on those at most need for the vaccination doses. Coming back to your question, there are platforms which they can use to learn about mass vaccination campaigns. The WHO manual is a good place to start with, but also it's important to understand the environment in which we are working. Do you have platforms which are being used in other program areas where they are doing mass vaccination campaigns? Do you have other platforms, softwares which are being used in other program areas apart from vaccinations, which you can adapt to the situation that you are working on? And right now, technology is becoming so advanced. If we talk about maps, they are becoming widely available online. So you can use all those resources. But in doing all this, you need a lot of expertise from other people. Like I'm a physician and an epidemiologist. I don't have a strong background in geographical information science. So I had to bank on other people who've got that kind of expertise. So you need to create teams if you are doing back on this. You cannot do it as an individual.
Thank you so much, Simon Mutembo. I have one last question for you that wasn't in the initial list of questions. As I said in the opening, not everybody wins a Grand Challenge. Can you tell us how did you get the news that you had been selected for this global Grand Challenge, and what was the emotion that you felt when you received this information?
Yeah, it's exciting, and at this stage, I wish to be thankful to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation for having chosen me to be one of the recipients of this grant out of a big platform of applicants. It takes a bit of hard work, and you need to think of an innovation which will be able to address a critical problem in the community. And also, when you think of an idea, I think you need to also consider many other people who can assist with developing the idea. It does not come easy, but you need other people around you to kind of support you and put in their technical input. But most importantly is to try and identify a problem, and then I try to aim at addressing that problem.
Great. Thank you so much. Simon Mutembo is a researcher and practitioner who won the Global Grand Challenge in mass vaccination campaigns, reaching the zero-dose child. He's, amongst other things, affiliated with the International Vaccine Access Center, has worked in EPI, and was one of the panelists in the Geneva Learning Foundation's special event with IVAC on serosurveys for vaccine-preventable diseases. So if you have not looked at this yet, you want to learn more about serosurveys specifically, please don't hesitate to go to learning.foundation to find this event and learn more. Thank you so much, Simon. Looking forward to continuing this dialogue. As you know, we have a big event planned at the Geneva Learning Foundation. Thank you to all those of you who put in comments and said hello, including Ali Ben Haddad from Tunisia, Dr. Taimur Kayani, and many others. We're now going to do a little bit of a rewind with all the comments received during this session. Simon, thank you so much. Take care.